Time now for another check of our first alert forecast.
All I can say is, oh boy, here we go. Here we go.
Right. I'm not amused. I hope y'all don't hear my air conditioner. I could turn it off, but I'm too lazy, so let's move on. As you can see, we got the forecast live, even though I hope you can tell nobody else is moving, all right, because it's just me, all right. But I figured that if I had them on the screen, it would look like, you know, still got the forecast live. But anyway, all right, I got a few topics that I want to run over today. All the talk has been the conference finals for the NBA. So on the East, you got the Miami Heat versus the Boston Celtics. The Miami Heat are number 1 seed, and the Boston Celtics are the number 2 seed. So big shock. You know, anybody could have guessed those two teams interchanging the Celtics with the Bucks. All right. And on the West side, you got the true number 1 seed, in my opinion, the Golden State Warriors, well, really the 3rd seed, versus the 4th seed, if I'm not mistaken, the Dallas Mavericks. All right, so let me see if I can do this, y'all. I'm gonna try to make this look okay. There we go. All right, so let's talk about the East first. Let's make some predictions on the Heat versus the Celtics. Honestly, this is going to be a nasty battle because honestly, I don't think the Miami Heat have anything for the Celtics. Now, the Bucks should not have gotten beaten by the Celtics, but without Chris Middleton, you just have who you have. And their shooters on the Bucks kind of just went flat in that last game. So, with that being said, or better yet, I said that to say this. When I think about it, the Miami Heat is pretty injured too. With me not knowing what Kyle Lowry is going to do. But even considering Kyle Lowry playing, I really don't give the Miami Heat much of a chance. Now I'm going to say this. I said in the other video I want Miami Heat to win because Miami Heat would be the best challenge for it'd be a more favorable matchup for the Warriors. All right, so I'm rooting for the Warriors. But if I had to be honest, the most firepower is the Boston Celtics. Everybody's talking about how Jason Tatum is about to become a superstar. Fair enough. All right, I won't argue that. Jaylen Brown is pretty legit. Marcus Smart, Defensive Player of the Year. You got all the makings. You got everything you need to get to the finals. And then in the way, you got Jimmy Butler. And who I like that we don't talk about is PJ Tucker. All right, PJ Tucker plays some good defense. So I would expect to see either PJ Tucker on Jason Tatum or Jimmy Butler on Jason Tatum. And yeah, I don't know why they're not playing them, but you got Duncan Robinson, one of the best three-point shooters in the league. And you got Victor Oladipo. All right, and I didn't mention Kyle Lowry because, like I said, I don't know if Kyle Lowry will be playing next series tomorrow. But it's a pretty legit lineup to go against the Celtics. And one thing that the Bucks didn't do is they didn't guard the Celtics. So the Bucks would be right here in this predicament if they would have at least tried to guard Grant Williams. All right, but we're not going to talk about that. All right, so who do I got in this series? Before I say that, I want to ask the fans. Y'all will be, you see Cam in that bottom right corner? Y'all will be Cam, okay? Those are the fans. I'm going to ask y'all, is it possible that the Celtics could be worn out from their series with the Bucks? Now, the Celtics are a pretty young team, so that's why I asked, is it even possible? I don't think that's likely. I think they're ready to go. And they should be more excited than anything. They're back in the Eastern Conference Finals. Who do I have in this series? I want the Miami Heat to win, but I believe the Boston Celtics will win this and go to the NBA Finals on the East. on the West. All the talk has been Luka Doncic. My question to y'all is Luka Doncic not any different than James Harden? I don't get the difference. The Warriors have dealt with James Harden before, so why is everybody so worried about Luka Doncic? I don't know that answer, so I'll say this. I get that Luka's good, all right? Luka's probably one of the more exciting players to watch because he'll pick out, who he wants to guard him. And he'll talk trash the whole game. And I'm like, we just dealt with all right, let me ask y'all this. Everybody's worried about the Mavericks beating the Warriors. But wouldn't you say that the Memphis Grizzlies are a better team? Wouldn't you say the Memphis Grizzlies are a better team than the Dallas Mavericks? And if you would say that, wouldn't you say the Warriors were about to beat the Memphis Grizzlies with or without Ja Morant? They did both. So I don't know why people are so afraid of the Mavericks. I'm like, you already had to deal with this with James Harden and the Rockets. So you should be used to the game plan. Now I get in the season, the Warriors lost to the Mavericks. I think they played 3 times and they lost 2, won 1. That's scary. Obviously, the Warriors weren't always healthy. The big 3 on the Warriors didn't play but 11 minutes in the season together. Am I worried about the Mavericks? Yes. There's no question about it. Jalen Brunson, or whatever his name, he scares me. I am kind of worried about will the Warriors stay on their man. Let Luka do all he can do. That's what I say. Let him just score. Let him score at will. And I should have actually changed this. Let's get some continuity, y'all. Let's get a little better at this. So, bam. Matchup we talking about. All right. I don't think the Warriors will stay home. Well, first off, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The Warriors' biggest problem is their turnovers. And I watched Draymond Green's podcast, and Draymond Green claimed that they are going to work on their turnovers. Now, if that was the case, you would have worked on them before Game 6. So for him to say that they're going to work on their turnovers makes me think that they've already tried, and they're just a turnover machine. I mean, it is what it is. But I watch so much content to try to figure out how much of a threat is the Mavericks. They beat the Suns, all right? And the only team to get blown out like the Suns this postseason has been the Warriors, The Memphis Grizzlies blew the Warriors out in that one game. Now the difference is the Warriors won their series 4-2. Only won 6 games. So let me say this. Everybody's saying the best player on the court in the Mavericks and Golden State Warriors series will be Luka Doncic. Fair enough. But here's the problem. Who's next? Who's the next best player on the court? Steph Curry. Who's the next best player on the court? Draymond Green. All right, possibly. Who's the next best? Klay Thompson. Who's the next best? Jordan Poole. No, let's take that back. I want to say Andrew Wiggins, then Jordan Poole, then maybe Jalen Brunson, then maybe Spencer Dinwiddie. Okay, so what I'm getting at is the Warriors have more than likely have, in my opinion, the next 4 best players on the court. So if the Mavericks are going to win, how will they deal with all that firepower? I got this series going 5 games, y'all. And I'm not going to lie, I worry every series. I worried about the Nuggets. And they claim the Nuggets were the worst team in the postseason. The worst team in the postseason was by far the Timberwolves. I don't even get that joke. The Nuggets were not the worst team. I don't care how many games the Timberwolves won. They were the worst team. Low IQ. All right, so I'll move on. And I got my agenda ahead of me, and I'm looking at the questions. All right, so the last thing I want to talk about is, are the Suns overrated? I asked that question because, in my humble opinion, which you know it is, I don't believe the Suns should have been in the finals. All right, we all know about the injuries last season, but let's just talk about the first series. The Lakers were up in this series. The Lakers were about, a healthy Lakers would have eliminated the Suns. All right, they beat the Nuggets the next round, but in my humble opinion, again, a healthy Nuggets team would have beat the Suns. All right, and then we got the third round, which was the Clippers. Again, if Kawhi Leonard was playing, that series went 6 games. If Kawhi Leonard was playing, the Clippers would have beat the Suns. So you have the Suns as the #1 seed this season. I get it. They had the best record in the league. I get it. But I want to run by people, and I'm not trying to hate on Chris Paul because I know all the news is hate on Chris Paul. Chris Paul played amazing this postseason. Yeah, they got put out, and he had that birthday and he went on a slump. But Steph Curry's on a slump too. Steph Curry just has a better team. But I just want to run this by people. The Suns, in my opinion, from the very jump, were no better than the Utah Jazz. And people could see the Utah Jazz and tell that that's not a good team. But for some reason, they see the Suns and they see the coaching, which the coaching is much better on the Suns than the Utah Jazz, so fair enough. But I had the Suns as the same tier as the Utah Jazz. Now, if I had to rank the best teams on the West, like when we talking healthy, the Warriors are right here at the very top of the mountain. And I say the next level of talent is the Mavericks, tier 2. The Mavericks, the Suns. Well, hold on, let's go backwards. Maybe at the very top is the Clippers and the Warriors. And then the next tier is the Mavericks, the Suns. Yeah. Mavericks, the Suns, and the Nuggets. That's the next tier. And then the tier after that, I would say, is the Pelicans. And I put them on a tier by themselves because I think the next tier is going to be pretty bad. The last tier, I got like the Lakers and the Timberwolves. And if I missed a team, I probably missed a major team, but I took the Jazz out because I think they're going to blow that team up. Portland, I would like to see what happens with Portland before I make sense, try to fit them into this Oklahoma, Sacramento Kings. There's no point in putting all those teams on there. All right, now, this was a short episode of the FourCast, but I did want to get my predictions out there. Y'all, the games are tomorrow. I mean, the final round starts tomorrow. Wednesday, we got the Warriors. Super hyped for that. But we're here. So I wanted to put my thoughts out there. I'm not amused. This was the FourCast. Shout out to Leo. Shout out to Silent K. Shout out to Cam. This is what we're working with, baby. This is it. The FourCast.